Hey guys, it's Kama. I'm going to talk about how I threw my midnight cosplay together, and I'm going to also talk about the parts I made. So firstly, this is an Arta wig, a very old Arta wig that I got in 2013 for Homestuck cosplays when I did Vriska, and it has the literal shit beaten out of it, but I didn't want to buy a new wig for midnight, and it's the same color because she has dark blue hair. So I decided I'll use it one more time before I recycle it for my Widowmaker ponytail. This mask is made out of foam and warbler, and it's painted with red gloss paints, hand painted. This collar that goes all the way down, it is made out of black vinyl, stretch vinyl, and I have these little things in it. So there's all these little beads, they're red sheer beads. And then these two beads right here, the weird, I don't even know what shape they're, like weird hexagonal, long hexagonal ones. They were clear, but I used red auto paint, the kind that you're supposed to pair with metallic stuff to make red metallic. I sprayed the little beads so that they look red and sheer, and they match these ones down here. And these are just plain silver spikes that I also use the same red clear paint on. So I didn't want to use red metallic paint because like the hand paint, it's usually not metallic enough for me. I like really shiny. So, and then this corset I bought online for 80 bucks. It was before I really was confident enough to make corsets, and I wanted a really shiny one for midnight. So I bought a legitimate one, and I figured that since it's so nice, I'll reuse it for other stuff. This belt is made out of red vinyl. There's little gold spikies on it. It velcros in the back around my hips. This is made out of warbler and foam. It's actually pretty wrinkled now because I left it in the garage on accident and it melted, and I didn't want to make a new one, so I like kind of bent it back and it cracked, and I filled it in with clay and repainted it. And then behind it is like some red shiny metallic spandex to add some contrast, and the garters are sewn on to the belt. They connect. These are just a pair of handcuffs that I bought, or I think I already had them. And I looked like a crazy person because I had to like detach the middle link. So I was out, this was back when I still lived in an apartment, and I like clicked one side on the balcony rail, and I was out there with like just a metal file, just hand sawing it, and it was really loud. And my neighbors kept like driving by and staring at me like I was crazy. This is just a flag that I bought on eBay. You could get black or red. Red is obviously easier to paint black than black is to paint red, so I got the red one, and all I had to do was paint the handle black, and it looks like hers. I'm going to scroll down to show you the rest. So as for the rest of it, oh yeah, I forgot. These are just little vinyl underwear that I made. I should have done a better job on them because they're a little short. I should have made them longer because they keep peeking out from my corset, and they're not supposed to do that. These are just blue thigh-high stockings that I got for like $3 or $4, I think. They came in blue. I actually know how to dye stockings now, so if I had had that skill before, I probably would have just used some white ones I had laying around and just dyed them blue. These shoes are really old, like really old. I've literally worn these for 5 or 6 cosplays, but I didn't like how her shoes looked in the design. I actually thought they were really boring, and I wanted them to look a little bit more goth, so I just used my stompers and like added red shoelaces. But I also did something really, really ratchet. I spray painted these with a gloss because I was too lazy to make shoes, and I wanted it to match the rest of the black shining on the rest of the costume. So yeah, it cracks a lot, but like you literally really can't see it in photos, and it's not really that noticeable. They just look kind of old. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon. If you have any questions about this costume or like want more detailed answers on how I made anything, just leave a comment down below and I'll be back to you. Thank you.
Alright, so I'm going to talk about how much it costs me to make this cosplay, how much it'll cost somebody who doesn't have that many materials to make this cosplay, and also how much it would cost if you did a super budget-friendly version. Okay, so for me, I already had the wig. It is a Jareth in Midnight from Arta. I've had it for 5 years. I had some warbler laying around. The bodysuit was $30, I think. It was just a plain white one. I already had the vinyl laying around, so it actually didn't cost me anything. I probably should have left that off, but it was probably about $10 in vinyl. The corset was where I really splurged on this cosplay. It was somewhere between 70 and 80 bucks on eBay. And since I didn't have to spend that much on the rest of the cosplay, this is where I splurged. The beading and the spikes and stuff were about $10. I already had the handcuffs. The flog was $4 on eBay. The boots, shoelaces, paint foam, I already had all that stuff laying around. And then the tights were $3. So total for me, it was about $137. And I could have cut that price more than in half if I hadn't got the corset. So for somebody who is beginning cosplay and doesn't have that many materials, it would be $40 for the wig if you wanted the same exact wig as I have. But if you wanted to do a budget version, you could definitely get a nice wig for anywhere from $15 to $25 on Amazon or eBay. The Warbler isn't even necessary. You could just use foam and just prime it. But Warbler is kind of expensive, so that would be a good thing to leave out for the budget version. The bodysuit is $30. I think that's pretty standard, but you could try to make it. So if you did, it would be anywhere from 15 to 30. The corset, I bought a really nice one. You can definitely get a workable corset for anywhere from 15 to 30 on eBay. It probably won't be shiny like this one and as nice, and it might not be like a real corset that like pulls everything in, but you can still get a corset for pretty cheap on eBay or Amazon. The vinyl, there isn't really any way around that. I guess you could get a cheaper fabric, but that's not really going to cut the cost for you very much. The beading, you could actually cut the cost here because you could not use beading. You could just use foam and cut it into the proper shapes and paint it. The handcuffs, there isn't really any way around that unless you wanted to try to make them out of foam, but I wouldn't recommend that because handcuffs are pretty cheap. The flog was pretty cheap. The boots, I got mine on eBay for $45 like a long time ago, but you could always try to make boot covers. You could get some boots at Goodwill, or you could get shoes that are like $3 to $5, and you could make boot covers for really cheap. Then the shoelaces, there's no really way around that, but you could also avoid the shoelaces entirely if you wanted to be more accurate and do little foam cutouts or beads or something. The paint, for the paints that I got, it was probably about $20 total, but you don't have to use like the fancy car paint that I use. So I would say that all the paint that you need for this cosplay, you could get for like $4. Foam is pretty cheap. You'd only really need like 2 sheets of it. And the tights, there's really no cheaper alternative than the ones I use. So yeah, that's about the price breakdown. This is obviously in USD because I'm American. Yeah, if you have any more questions or what links or anything, I can try to help you out with that. All right, thanks for watching.